guys, it is 8:40 p.m. on Saturday, the 122nd day I'm doing this. Here's your daily dose of hope. And yeah, I'll be honest. I was going to say it's been a rough couple days. It hasn't actually been a rough couple of days. It's that it's felt like that because of emotion. But I think it's important to distinguish between when you just kind of have old things playing in your head and you're like, I need to go do something, I don't need to get stuck in this rumination, versus what I'm doing, which is every day facing fear. So then it's bringing up a lot of things, right? So I'm ultimately grateful because I wanted to do something fun last night, but when I checked in with myself, I was not feeling great. And, the facts are there was a lot that's been, repressed for a long time. So it was good to kind of see what the obstacle was. I could have still forced myself, right? I still could have been like, well, I'm not going to let that bother me. And I do that whenever, I don't want to say whenever possible, but whenever it's in my best interest ultimately, right? Like working with the inner child. So yeah, it's kind of hard to explain because I'm still like learning it myself, but it's kind of like, okay, I finally have time and space to heal these things. So as I continue every day to, face fears and take steps, I want to face them, right? I don't want to, it's hard to explain. It's just kind of like meeting it once and for all, which, yes, is not easy, but it really is rewarding at the same time, and fulfilling. So, and like I said, apparently it was not only a full moon, but it was a Sagittarius full moon. And just, my daughter just left, and, just a lot on my mind and my heart. And tomorrow I'm going to face yet another fear and attempt to drive somewhere new again, right? So it's just like working with my system. Still, to be honest, still pushing myself as much as like in my challenge zone. So today's quote, I think is appropriate. It says, when life brings big winds of change that almost blow you over, close your eyes, hang on tight, and believe. It's a little doggy. And that's kind of how I feel right now. Like, and it's 8:44, so 44. I know that the path I took last year is not what I want to do, going forward. So I'm in that kind of almost suspension feeling of, what do I want to do? And just reminding myself it's safe to be in that space, It really is. It just doesn't feel like that, but it's true. So I just watched something about, I think it was like limiting thoughts or defeating thoughts. And I think ultimately it comes down to self-awareness, meaning know thyself, like know yourself. And like I said, there's a difference between, I'm not going to even attempt to drive somewhere new tomorrow, right? Like not even have that enter my mind as a possibility, versus, okay, I'm going to attempt this. In order to give myself the best shot of attempting this and to get as many parts on board, I want to see what are the hesitations, what is the problem, right? So, and I just think of it, like I said, like it's like if it was a kid, you can, I mean, I wouldn't do this, but some people will make them do stuff, right? Like they'll take their hand and they're like, you're doing it whether you like it or not, without even stopping to ask them what are the things you're nervous about, or what are the things, that you don't like about it. So it's just showing respect, right? It's just saying, well, we might still have to do this. Like, let's say it's go to the doctor, but I want to hear you out first, and see if I can address your concerns. Yeah, it just comes down to basic respect. So that's what I'm doing internally. Of like, I could just be like, no, I'm not going to try tomorrow. I could easily do that, but it's like, let's see. Let's see if I can get, the elephant on board. Um, and I watched Wall-E tonight. I think I saw it a long time ago, but I thought that was really, really related to it. Like the want and the need for true connection and putting himself out there. You know, to be the change. So that being said, I'm going to get ready for bed to give myself the best, set myself up for success. And, being honest, at the moment, my body's in some pain. So it's like, okay, so I'm going to explore that a bit. But, like, again, honor my body and be like, well, rest is never, got to get this through, but, rest is never a bad choice, right? Like, that's not going to hurt me. So, anyway, I love you guys, and I hope you have an awesome night.